A little bit about me. My name is Jacob. I am 32 years old from the great state of Mississippi. I am autistic. If you didn't realize it, I've am 245 pounds and a little bit. I have some issues that I have autism. If you guys didn't know, but been dealing with I've been dealing with autism for, for almost 30 years. I found out I had autism at 3, and I do wanna say that I live my life like everybody else, but sometimes it's hard for me to live my life because there's challenges and there's stuff that, you know, or this world is not made for people with disabilities. It's not made for people with disabilities. But, I'm just showing people I can do it that I can do it. And if you don't like what I'm doing, you can get back on the interstate. And if you don't like how I'm living, how I'm doing it, you can get back on the interstate. Leave me alone because this is my life, not yours. For me, as a content creator that has issues, I'm also on the spectrum. I have autism. If you didn't notice, if you didn't notice, I have autism. I sometimes have issues with companies because I don't understand some of the practices that people do. So the reason why I made this channel is to show people my, I'm I've been dealing with autism for since I was 3 years old. I'm 32 years old. I've been dealing with autism since I was for 29 years. I've been dealing with it since I was 3 years old, and I'm 32. And I want to show people that it's the struggles that I have with autism, and I also want to show people how, and I want to also do other stuff, and I wanted to show people that living with autism is some it's a challenge sometimes, but it's also teach people autism awareness. Yeah, teaching people autism awareness is something that I want to do to show people that I'm not crazy.
Hi everyone, Mumbling Nick here. Some of you may know already, but I am a former opiate addict, a substance abuser, and being someone who abused substances, I hung around with fellow addicts. Just comes with the territory. And one of those addicts I used to work with, his name was Jay, and that's all I'm going to give. And Jay's family was in Utah, and I'm in Massachusetts on the other side of the country there on the East Coast. So Jay got in a little jam and was kind of like floating from couch to couch. And he had a daughter uh, here in Massachusetts. And so I let him live with me for a little bit. And, this was many, many years ago. And working for the same company he did, I kind of roughly knew what he made, and he was taking home at least $1,000 every 2 weeks, probably a little more. We got paid bi-weekly, so all I asked from him was $50 every 2 weeks, $100 a month, and buy his own food. He didn't have to chip in on the electricity or anything like that. All right. And I was trying to help him get on his feet so he could get out of there. And if I knew if I charged him too much, he's not going to be able to save to move out. So I was like, what the hell, you know, just $100 just to offset any utilities he may be using, right? And amazingly, he had trouble paying me that. I would get some money here or there, and the excuse was always, "Oh, my ex, she needed, I paid child support, but she needed more. She needed this. My daughter needed that, And then I come to find out he wasn't paying anything. He's a deadbeat dad, or he was a deadbeat dad, right? I mean, he'd be telling me he's gonna go visit his daughter, and he wasn't. And most people would blame the addiction because, drugs or being an addict makes people do bad things or do things they wouldn't normally do. But Jay didn't spend all his money on drugs. He was huge. He loved softball. He would buy like softball bats and this and that, nice ones. Uh, he bought like $150 Nike sneakers. So instead of helping out his daughter, he was buying drugs, buying himself stuff, and wasn't even paying me or his ex to take care of his daughter. And that's when I came to learn that, obviously not all addicts are good people. I mean, addiction will make good people do bad things, but there are also addicts who are bad people, just like anything else. Or not bad people, but, not the best, right? And so I realized, he was getting away with all this stuff because people were just blaming his addiction for his shortcomings, but that wasn't the case. And that stuck with me all these years. And I think that's part of the reason why I make these Jake Hudson videos. I'm going to break down the fourth wall a little bit. I'm not going to name names, but there was someone who was kind of helping me with Jake. Like, these these videos are for content and everything. But I go out of my way to try not to make videos or criticize Jake on anything that has to do with his autism or Asperger's disease, because that's not fair to Jake, right? I would never judge someone by something they can't control. And, Jake, he'll make certain noises, or he has trouble finishing a thought, or he'll pace in a circle, all sorts of things, right? I don't make videos on that. That wouldn't be right. I make videos on the things I think Jake can control. And unfortunately, Jake reminds me of my former friend and coworker there, Jay, in that people let him off the hook all the time. They just blame his autism or his Asperger's. And because of this, he's running amok. I mean, there are things he shouldn't be doing. I mean, autism doesn't make people not shower, not wash their hands, all that stuff, right? Not brush their teeth, all that. That has nothing to do with autism. Autism also doesn't make people be liars. It doesn't make people manipulate others, right? It doesn't make people greedy when it comes to money. It doesn't make people hypocrites or turn on their friends all the time. And these are all things that Jake does. And so this is going to be part one of a multi-part little video series here on the things I think people don't, I shouldn't say criticize, but don't address Jake with enough. And trust me, this is pretty much 99% going to have to do with his quote unquote podcast. His HWO, Hudson World Order, or as he calls it on all the audio platforms, Here's the Thing. That's the name of it, right? By the way, Jake lists his podcast as a wrestling podcast on all those audio sites. I'm guessing to attract people looking for wrestling podcasts when, yeah, he may talk about wrestling every so often, but it's certainly not a wrestling podcast. In fact, if you listen to the open I just played here with a little montage from a few of Jake's shows, Jake claims he wants to teach people about autism awareness on his podcast. That's what he wants. And if that's what Jake wants, I think that's a great idea. But unfortunately, Jake never does that. He just says he wants to do that, or he'll just keep mentioning he's autistic because he's learned. Jake's very smart. Jake has learned that gets him out of a lot of things. Oh, I'm autistic, so that's why I told you to go fuck yourself, or fuck you, you're blocked. But, Jake's going to just continue to be a hypocrite, be a liar, manipulate people into giving him money and all other sorts of other things. Jake even has some delusions going on regarding his quote unquote podcast. He thinks he's in the podcast business. He thinks he actually owns and runs and operates a business. I mean, he understands Joe Rogan's bigger than him, but he thinks Joe Rogan is like a colleague of his. But anyway, that's not the major thing here. It's how he treats people. That's the big problem that I want to address. And this first part one here is going to address pretty much the essence of the foundation, I should say, the foundation of his podcast, because it's a fraud. It's a flat out fraud. Just like that opening montage where Jake claims he wants to teach people about autism awareness. That's bullshit. I mean, literally the last thing he said, if you rewind it after, is he wants to teach people about autism awareness so they don't think he's crazy. Yet Jake brags about being crazy all the time in his podcast. Hell, it's in his fucking AI theme song. I mean, Jake plays multiple AI songs, but this is the one he plays the most at the start of his shows. This is the one he uses as his like opener. And it contains this line right here. I got my own rhythm, my own kind of mind. I'm crazy, but I'm one of a kind. I got autism, ADHD too, Asperger's, OCD. I see the world true. I got my own rhythm, my own rhyme. I'm crazy, but I'm one of a kind. So there he is bragging about being crazy. And then that goes right into him listing all these mental or social ailments: autism, Asperger's, ADHD, which I've never heard Jake say he has. And if he does have it, it's that stuttering John type, I guess, where instead of being a neat freak, you're a slob. So that makes me think Jake doesn't have that one. But, who knows? I don't know for sure. But yeah, that's Jake's MO. You'll learn there. He'll do anything he wants, sympathy, and that's how he manipulates. He'll talk about bills that he has, quote unquote bills. They're not bills. We'll address that in a future video. If you're someone who actually struggles paying their bills, I'm one of them. You're like, it's an eye roll. It's an eye roll and a half that this guy thinks things like YouTube Premium are bills, because God forbid he watches commercials. And he'll claim even this stuff is for his podcast, quote unquote podcast. But Jake never plays YouTube videos or any on his podcast because he's terrified of fucking copyright strikes, and I think he can on his tablet for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, we'll cover all that in future installments, future episodes here. But yeah. And if you think it's just the song, no, Jake doesn't. It's not just the song where Jake says that he's crazy. He'll fucking flat out say it during his fucking podcast. It's a brag.
I appreciate everybody showing up. My name is Jake. I'm a full-time variety content creator, YouTuber, live streamer who's on the spectrum. I am a little crazy, but if you like crazy, welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world. Yeah, there it is. The brag. And he does this, quite often. So it's tough to know what Jake really wants. Does he really want to teach people about autism so they think he's normal, a regular guy, or does he want them to think he's crazy? Because Jake is under the impression that it's cool or it's admirable to never change, to be like, fuck you, this is how I am. If you don't like it, there's the door. And yeah, if people are making fun of him because he's autistic, then that's a great attitude. But there's nothing wrong with changing things that aren't good. Like, I was an addict. I didn't say, it's just who I am. If you don't like it, that I fucking do drugs all the time, and fuck you, there's the door. I mean, that's not, you know what I mean? It's like, Jake, you admit you've done awful things in the past, so don't you want to change? Because it's not just the past, it's the present. You use that as a fucking excuse. You're always like, people, yes, I have a past. People judge me by my past. Well, I don't know a ton about your past, Jake. I'm judging you by your fucking present. And let's also get this straight. If you were just doing your podcast for fun, like I don't have a podcast. I live stream from a couch, and you do even less production than I do, but yet you call it a fucking podcast. But yeah, if you were doing it just for fun, I wouldn't bother with half the stuff I'm going to go over. I would still maybe try to help you with how you treat people, but I wouldn't really focus on the podcast show, about it. But that seems to be your life. You live this stuff. And like I said, you contradict stuff all the time, which and lie and manipulate, which we will go over in future ones. But this first one's, as I said, it's going to be on the foundation of your podcast. I mean, what does every successful podcast need first and foremost? Supporters, right? You need viewers and you need subscribers. And you have over 3,000 subscribers, but you get like 3 people watching you on a live. And even with all the after views, even with me watching you multiple times afterwards to make videos, almost all your fucking lives have under 100 views. Meanwhile, I have like a little over 300 subscribers, and most of my lives have between 100 and 400. To be fair, between 100 and 300, but I get, a few that get up to the 400 range. But yeah, so how does that happen, Jake? You have 10 to 1 what I have, right? 300 to 3,000. And yet I'm getting 2 to 3 times the viewers you're getting, or 3 to 4, whatever. Just say 3 times the viewers you're getting. How does that happen? Well, partly because you go to what's called sub for sub or follow for follow communities, which I never heard of, where I guess you get people to sub to you and you sub to them and then you just don't watch each other. Now, granted, we all have what I call courtesy subs, but mine are people I actually know, Jake. There are some, say, people that watch me on Echo Pineapple's channel there, and they may like me, but they're not into politics, or they don't like my political views, so like they don't want to watch it, but they'll sub to me, But at least I know them. You're going to strangers, and hey, you sub to me, I'll sub to you. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The big enchilada is that you have bought subscribers, Jake. Through Kenny Bolin from the wrestling world, you have purchased subscribers from the Philippines. And you're not the only one. Kenny's done this with multiple people, but you are one of them. And it's about time you just flat out tell everybody that. Now, what's funny, Jake, is I have a confession. That's how this is going to end, with a confession from you. So you have confessed in the past, but you still continue to deny it even after the confession. So the people you have supporting you right now, because Jake always has a rotating group of supporters. I was one of them at one point, and past supporters of him tried to warn me. I mean, God, the very first time I ever had Jake on my live stream, I had supporters of mine. They were like, "What are you doing?" Because they know how passionately I feel about doxing and all that, and they're like, "Jake doxes people. Jake's got people swatted." I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna, let me give the guy a chance." And I should have listened, just like the people now should listen, but they won't. And I get it. I had to learn the hard way, so they're gonna have to learn the hard way. I mean, God, I'm gonna have a video on Ava coming up. Ava, whatever any of you think of Ava, she treated Jake better than anyone. She supported him with money, supported him with compliments, supported him by going on his show. The only argument or long-term tiff Ava and I ever had was over Jake. When I was trying to do tough love with Jake, and she wanted no part of it. And Jake stabbed her in the back, gave her the "fuck you, you blocked." And I'm going to cover that. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Unnerving Brain, Dee Dee, others, I know you guys like Jake, just like I like Jake, but he's gonna stab you in the back one of these times. Ask Deadpool. Ask me. Ask fucking Bobby Nick. Ask fucking anybody. Right? Ask Ava. Happens to us all. And it's very unfortunate that you guys don't call him out on that. I'll just give one example because this will be another future video. But with Deadpool has bought Jake like headphones, microphones, stuff like that. And he was Jake's only $100 a month Patreon member. Was doing it for like 4 months, I think. And for whatever for reasons. Deadpool stopped, and he stopped with others. I think he used to do it with Bobby Nick, and he stopped. It just happens. You put your money elsewhere, other resources, right? Well, Jake thinks he's in business with his Patreon users, so he thought he was in business with Deadpool. So he thought Deadpool fucked him over, and he flips out on Deadpool and criticizes him. And I see him criticize Deadpool for this right in front of Unnerving Brain, and Unnerving Brain doesn't go, Jake, you know what? You're wrong. This guy buy you headphones, he buy you a microphone, he was giving you $100 every month, he gave you other money. He's a good guy. Nope, but if you don't do that, you let Jake just keep doing what he's doing. I do see Dee Dee speak up sometimes. She's good at that. But Nerving Brain and others, they just let Jake do this like others did, and then he's never gonna learn. So anyway, let's get to the focus of this video, which is Jake's bought subs from the Philippines. And I don't know how many he has, but it's a good amount. It's how we started off this new channel after he had to start anew. And he's still doing it because I know he bought 200 in first week of December. That's how I figured all this out. That and some help from some others, and Jake's confession. So let's start off. I believe this was the beginning of May. Jake hit 2,500 subscribers, and he was all excited. As you'll see here, he was on the road to 3K.
Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy Jake yet again. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Today is a good day because today I hit 2,500 subscribers. Booyah! On my road to 3K. Let's do this. Love you guys. Bye.
See how excited he is there? He's got 2,500 there on May 4th, 2025. And his goal was to get to 3,000 by the end of the year. What's weird is you see how excited he was, even though he knows he's cheating by buying subscribers. But that goal to get to 3,000 by the end of the year was just too enticing for him. In fact, he was even racing a fellow podcaster to 3,000.
By the way, me and her, we were on a race to 3K each. And she was like, oh, I'm going to get 3K before you did, because here's the thing, because she was, to be honest, she was doing the same thing I was doing. She was going into those sub for sub communities. The problem is, my subs are good. Here's the thing.
So yeah, as you can see, Jake lost that race, but he said his subs are good, implying that hers aren't, even though his aren't good. I mean, he does admit the sub for sub, follow for follow community there. That's how I found out about that. That was always kind of a theory of mine, that Jake did say, hey, sub to me, I'll sub to you. But I didn't know there were actual communities where that's like a thing. I thought it was just randos. But apparently he was doing that at whole communities. But anyway, I think this is low on for multiple reasons. First, again, Jake knows he's cheating, but he's deceiving his supporters, he's deceiving his audience, he's deceiving his friends. Second, he implies that this woman is cheating and has fake subscribers when he's the one with fake subscribers. I mean, this woman may too, I have no idea. But trust me, this isn't the only time where Jake implies that someone else is cheating. In fact, he flat out kind of like threatens somebody with it. There's a guy named Pesci who's part of Keemstar's lolcow community there, and there will be a lolcow video in this series because Jake's a big liar and hypocrite there. He wants to be in Keemstar's network so bad, but he claims he doesn't. But he gets so jealous of that more than like anything else, pretty much. And he takes out his wrath on the people who are successful there. Like he used to like Pesci. They used to be friends. He used to love someone named Gidgey. There's another guy named Riley who Jake liked, and then he got a job on Keemstar, and Jake snapped on him. He went psycho. And then when Riley got fired, Jake was fine with him again. Kind of weird. But anyway, This guy's name's Pesci because I guess he sounds like Joe Pesci. And Jake is literally going to bring up Kenny Bolin. And that's the guy who gets them their Filipino subs. And he's going to bring up Kenny's name to be like, hey, I know what you did. Does your current boss know? Give a listen.
I just want to say this. Pesci, go do your own show. Pesci, go do something that doesn't involve the LCU. Because they're nobody. LCU, and here's the thing. Pesci, if it wasn't for Bolin, you would have been you wouldn't been in the position that you were in. Does Jody know? Does Miss Jody know about that?
Does Miss Jody know that? You wouldn't be where you are without Kenny Bolin. I'm not sure who Miss Jody is, but obviously she's got some kind of power over Pesci. And here Jake is dangling what he knows about Kenny Bolin over Pesci. Funny, Jake, Kenny Bolin did the same thing for you, but you're not where Pesci is. So obviously that's not the reason. Let's talk about how this all went down, right? How I discovered that Jake was buying subs. It all started on December 3rd of last year, 2025, when I noticed Jake went from 2.93 thousand subscribers to 3.13 thousand subscribers. He got 200 all at once. And the reason I know this is, I was making videos on Jake. I was checking him out pretty much most of the fall. And in the whole month before, he was fluctuating between 2.93 and 2.94 thousand. He was going up 10, down 10, up 10, down 10. All right. I think at most the guy was averaging like 10 subs a month. Even now, he's at 3.17 subscribers. I just told you on December 3rd, he got 200 at once to go up to 3.13. So he's gotten 40 subscribers in the past almost 3 months. Yeah, real quick, we'll take a look. But yeah, last I checked, he was at 3.7. He hadn't moved in a while. Let's take a look. Yep, there he is, 3.17. So yeah, he's gone up 40 subscribers in the past 3 months. I mean, how did the guy even get 500 subscribers from the beginning of May to the beginning of December? I mean, that's fucking 7 months. You got 500 in 7 months when he's getting 10 to 15 every month. Obviously, he bought more, even besides that 200, to get him over 3,000. So I noticed that Jake, like I said, got 200 all at once. And so I knew either he bought him or somebody bought him for him. Now, obviously, since then, I found out that, he bought him from the Philippines via Kenny Bolin, but I didn't know that at the time. I just knew that somebody had to buy him because nobody gets 200 all at once, especially a guy getting 10 to 15 a month. But that didn't stop Jake from celebrating. Oh, FYI, I don't know if you guys noticed on that clip when I showed Jake getting 2,500, that short. I had the closed captioning on. Yeah, you didn't need it, but you're gonna need it for some of his videos. Especially some of his shorts. I don't know what it is, but like half his shorts come in fucking soft as shit. And most of his shorts are all the same. You'll learn. Jake does like 15 shorts a day right now, pretty much, or on certain days. And he thinks that's why he should be getting more money and shit and views and stuff. But besides these shorts where he's celebrating his fake subscribers, they're all the same. They're all like him trying to get somebody on his podcast. And it's the same script every time. And this isn't word for word, but it's something like this. So and so is the best in the world at what they do. And that's not an opinion. That's just a fact of life. Yeah, so and so. 444 life. Love you, brother, if you're a male. Sweetheart, if you're a female. Love what you do on the podcast. Keep doing what you do. Keep being you. Hope to get you on the podcast soon. And you're just too sweet, too sweet, too sweet to be flippin' sour. He just replaces the name and they're all the same. But anywho, as I said, on December 3rd, Jake hit Actually, he jumped right over 3,000 subs and broke the 3,100 mark because he bought 200 at once. And he celebrated like a motherfucker.
Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome to the show. It's your boy Jake yet again. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. There is the sticker door. I just want to tell you guys, I just today, hit 3,000 subs. Booyah. Oh yeah. That is, I love you guys. That may just made my day right there. 3,000 subs. Holy effing shoot. That is incredible. Love you guys. See ya later. Bye.
Boo yeah. Oh yeah. That just made my day. Unflippin' believable. All that. And he knows he bought them. What a slap in the face to all of you who are supporting him. I mean, this is a major violation of YouTube's terms of service. Like, it's funny, like, if you look to, like, report it, I mean, they obviously they can look into it if it's reported, but which I'm not going to do because I'm not an ass, but Jesus, Jake. So, anyway, as I said, on December 3rd, I noticed he got the 200. He celebrates. So I was in like a X chat group on Twitter there, and there were some Jake Hudson peeps in there. People that have been burnt by Jake. People that have known Jake for like 6 years or something are in there, right? So I bring it up, and I think I told them, and I told Echo, my buddy, and that was it. And one of the people in the chat were like, "Yeah, dude, he buys subscribers from the Philippines through Kenny Bolin." I was like, "What?" And then he gave me some details, and I was like, "Oh shit." So that was it. I don't say nothing. I think 8 days go by. And it's December 11th. And I don't know if you all remember, but at the end of the year there, Dave Serra was doing the Dabbleverse Awards and he sent out ballots for people to fill out. So I decided to do a live stream filling out my ballot. And I figured I'd let my supporters or viewers help me fill it out. And Jake showed up in my chat. And Jake and I were in one of those stages where I was trying to, I wasn't fuck you, you're blocked. So he asked to come on. So I sent him the link. And, my chat was kind of rough with him. And Jake really wanted to win best disabled fucking streamer or something. Apparently, since these awards have been going on for like 3 years, Jake's been writing in his name because he was never nominated. So he's finally excited he could vote for himself. But he knows I'm a Wendy supporter. So he's like, got mad. I was so nice to him, and he got mad, and he got mad at the chat, and he left like real quick. And then he came back, and he was on a little longer, and said he was just going to ignore the chat. And mind you, I didn't put up any of the nasty chats or anything. And he said he wasn't going to read them, but then of course he eventually does, gets mad again, and leaves. And then he starts getting nasty with me, and even more so, my co-host Liquid Cryptid in the chat. So I was like, you know what, Jake? If you're going to be a dick, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. And I explained what I explained to you guys about the 200 subs. And he didn't like that. And he came back and denied it and said I was trying to cause trouble, said his subs are real or whatever. And I tried to say something, and he cut me off and insulted my co-host again. So then I said something, and he got mad and left. And not long after that, my buddy Eckel had Granny on his show, and Granny has known Jake a long time, and he told the Kenny Bolin Filipino story. Not like in detail, but brought it up so he knows too. So I'm like, this thing has to be real. Because, I mean, Granny brought up like three things about Jake. They were amazing. Like, one was like Jake faked a fucking kidnapping with his niece or nephew and came back and claimed they stole his laptop and were holding it ransom, so he needed money. I mean, that's the greed. That's the manipulation. That's fucking crazy. And this other one about Jake jerking off on stream, which is funny, and other people backed it up. But I don't. I'm gonna give Jake a pass on that because the way Granny described it, Jake was doing his short thing with the best in the business of what they do. So he might have been pretending to jerk off because he had his back to the screen, but it's still funny. But yeah, those other stories are fucking crazy. So yeah, I'll just show some snippets of that, of me having Jake on, and the granny thing. And then we'll move on as we're getting very close to the confession.
Not funny, Rev. You sent me this. You, guess what? Have fun. Have fun being blocked again, you stupid little idiot. Fuck you.
Classic. Well, since Jake was mean to me, I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag. Um, Jake, I don't know if it was you or somebody did it for you, with or without your knowledge. You may be without your knowledge, but I was making lots of videos on you, as you know, for the past few weeks, and so I saw where your subscriptions were at, and the entire 3 or 4 weeks I was making videos on you. Your subs they would fluctuate between 2.93 thousand and 2.94. It would go up to 2.94, then you lose a few and it go back to 2.93, right? About a week ago, you had, just like every other morning, you started the morning with 2.93 thousand subs, and then you magically got like exactly 200 subs out of nowhere. um Let me guess. I'm guessing you're still at 3.13, right? Yep, 3.13. It hasn't moved since. Um so yeah, in the 4 weeks I made videos for you, you were at 2.93. Didn't really move. You gained 200 in one day to get over 3,000, and it hasn't moved since. So obviously somebody bought 200 subs to get you over 3,000. You needed less than 100, so you only had to buy 100, but so I don't know if you bought the 200 subs or if somebody bought them for you. I guess it doesn't matter because I was told that most of your subs are from the Philippines anyway. What's his name? Bolin? Bolin got you like thousands of subs from the Philippines or something? Kenny Bolin? Something like that? Some shit like that. So I guess those 200 fake subs can just go with the rest. It made a lot of sense when I found that out. I was trying to figure out why you have 3,000 subs, I only have 300, and I get more viewers than you. It was weird. Yep, Kenny Bolin. Yep. The Flip Bot Army, the Filipino Bot Army, makes up the majority of your subs, I guess. So, yep, this is like the exact same guy. Yep. I can't say who told me, but yep. Here, I won't say who sent this to me, but it says we were talking, and it says, Nick, I'll do you one better. Jake's entire sub base is from Flips, Filipino. He was promoted by Kenny Bolin, and the Flip Bot Army got him all of them. There's another character. They did this same tactic. Yeah, even said something about him being friends with Cornette at one point. Kenny Bolin was a promoter from the WWF and managed several wrestlers. He was best friends with Jim Cornette until he collected money for food from Flips and pocketed the money, flew to the Philippines. He had some engagements with some very questionable age ladies. Oh, some Epstein shit. Oh, boy. Featuring on the show. So I can't say it all came from Kenny. I just know the base came from that. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Jake, I kept all this to myself. I was a nice guy, but I was trying to be nice to you. I see you, Jake. I see you. Give me a minute. Both of his appearances with you're flipping me off. Okay, I'll bring you on. What's up, Jake?
Dude, take me off the air. I'm
What?
sorry that I made digs at you. I'm just aggravated. I just don't, please take my shit off your channel. Please.
What shit?
The one that you're watching right now,
I wasn't even watching. I was just.
Someone. What about? Listen. I earned my subs. That's it. I have people. Listen. I've been trying to get to 3K for this year, and I got to it. You're trying to cause trouble. Listen. Stop.
I'm not causing. No, Jake. I wasn't trying to cause trouble.
Why don't you go and hang out with your friend Cryptid, the one that has to wear a mask because he doesn't want people to know who he is.
Yeah, because people don't want to get doxxed and swatted by people like you and John.
Okay. Guess what? I'll go. I'm going right now. I'm taking all your video. Right now, I'm going to go into my YouTube and take all the videos that you're on off my fucking channel. Have a nice day.
Go ahead, dude. I don't care.
Fuck you.
Later, Jakey. Peace. Jesus. Grouchy. Yeah, I don't get that.
I unfortunately know way too much about Jake between the kidnapping incident, the Filipinos that boosted his channel, the jack off video.
Oh yeah, can I just throw him real quick? Mumbling Nick has told me about 5 separate times to mention this on stream. So even though I don't think it's necessary, nobody congratulate Jake on getting 3,000 subs because he went from 2,900 to 3,100 overnight, and it was clearly 200 bought subs. Sorry, Jake, I didn't want to do it, but Nick said he wouldn't come on my show anymore if I didn't say it on stream. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
No, I mean, we can go into the deep dive of what I know about fucking Jake Hudson, okay? But
No,
with that being said,
Jake, Nick, look what you made me do. You made me talk about Jake on my own stream voluntarily. Fuck.
You want me to do my Jake impression about when he jacked off that one time?
Yes, go on. Yes,
Okay,
of course. Of course I want to know.
So he comes over, like he's like this right here, right? And he's going crane style, like he doesn't know how to jack off, right? So he's going crane style like this, right? And he goes, oh, X videos is the best in the business in what they do. That's not an opinion. That's a fact of life. And then he ends the fucking stream. Claw. Wow. Yeah, Chris Mack knows. Yeah. The kidnapping incident, that was a whole different thing. He claimed to be kidnapped for donations.
Wait, hang on. Can I just ask a question? How come you know all of these interesting stories about Jake, but Nick only tells me all the boring fucking stories about Jake? What's going on?
I've tried to tell Nick, like, listen, man, you need to talk to me. I've known Jake for way too goddamn long.
I think we've got a new guest on the show, Nick.
Yeah. It's embarrassing how much I know about fucking Jake Hudson.
Yes, it is.
I'm ashamed of myself, Granny, you fucking idiot.
Granny, you fucking idiot. Tell me about the kidnapping. Go on.
He's on live stream, right? He's deleted this. I could probably get somebody that I know from back in the day, but he had like his fucking like niece and nephew run in and pretend kidnap him so that he could fucking like garner for donations. And yeah, and then he comes back on his phone. He's like, they took my laptop and they're fucking, here's the thing, they're ransoming my laptop. They kidnapped me. Shit was fucking, it was out of this world.
Okay, there's some evidence backing up what I said there. Just kind of, well, first part, I guess. Just, yeah. It was me telling the story about how I discovered Jake's 200 subs. Granny's telling his part. And, of course, Jake denied. You heard him. He denied buying. He's like, my subs are good, or I earned my subs. You're just causing trouble. Well, let's hear Jake deny buying some subs. We'll hear. This will be a combination of Jake celebrating, bragging about his 3,000, and denying he's got bad subs. And the last one there is going to be very recent, just from the other day. I think it was the 17th or 18th of February when Jake got $5 from the fisherman there, Johnny Carson. And there's a chatter who goes something like, oh, that's great. Now you can buy more subs from the Philippines with Kenny Bolin or something like that. And Jake got pissed and he denied it again and blocked the person. But before he could do that, I took a screenshot of the guys or the girls' chat before it disappeared. So, this will be a little montage of Jake celebrating the 3,000, denying the bad subs, the bot subs. Then at the end, you'll see him denying it again as he gets rid of this fucking chatter. And then I'll show the screenshot of what the chatter said. And then I promise, after that, it's the confession.
Hey SJ, what do you think about me hitting 3K on YouTube?
I don't know what that means.
I hit 3,000 subscribers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after like all these, my goal was 3,000. My goal was to try to hit 3,000 before the end of the year, and I hit it. But by the way, we hit 3K subs.
Yeah, I've seen that. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. You're the only one that everybody else wants to like lollygag and say, "Oh, Jake's buying viewers, Jake is buying subs." I'm like, I'm not buying subs. I'm just who I am.
I've seen somebody say that.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say something about that, but I was gonna wait till after you ended the stream. But since you didn't say it, I haven't seen somebody say that.
Who, Stormy?
I'll tell you when the stream ends.
All right, because I don't. To be honest with you, TJ, I've never had a problem with anybody, dude. So Bobby's bringing up the fact that I had that. So did you hear what Bobby was saying? Jib?
I don't think anybody's heard what Bobby's been saying. He's out of his mind.
He was like, "Oh, you have but you bought your subscribers."
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up! I don't buy subscribers. I don't buy any subscribers, and I will ban people for saying that.
So there it is. Little montage there of Jake celebrating 3,000 and then denying a bunch of times that he purchased subs. And then at the very end there, that's the one where he blocked that chatter for bringing it up. And that one, as I said, happened like last week. And just so you know, Jake confessed on January 4th. So that was a good month and a half after Jake confessed. He's still denying it. And earlier, if you guys remember, with that clip of Jake going after Pesci, where he said you only got where you are because of Bolin, and does Miss Jody know about that? That was the beginning of February. That was like a month after he confessed. So Jake, I don't know if you know the point of confessing. It's not to go back to the lie. Just, it's out there now. You buy subs from Kenny Bolin. It's out there. So stick with your confession and stop going back to denying it. It makes no sense. Oh, and you may have noticed that that last one there with the chatter where he said something about 5,000. Jake has said his goal is to get to 5,000 by the end of this year. So he thinks he's going to get 2,000 subscribers in 2026. As I said, he's only gotten 40 so far. And 3 months, actually, because that's counting December. So it's probably gotten between 25 and 30 in 2026. So he better start buying some big chunks if he wants to get there. Wants to get to 5,000. If he wants to get to 4,000. If he wants to get to 3,500, he better start buying some chunks. Anyway, let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for. I showed Jake throughout this video celebrating 3,000, the road to 3,000 and getting 3,000 and denying the 3,000 and threatening somebody who bought subs from Kenny Bolin and then implying the person he raced to 3,000 also purchased subs and his were good. Is this the kind of representation that autistic people want? I don't think so. There's plenty of autistic podcasters out there that don't act like this at all. Jake has had autistic podcasters on his show, and they act nothing like this. So this has nothing to do with the autism or the Asperger's. Jake, time to be a man and admit that you buy subs, because you've already admitted it once. Just constantly admit it now. It's just known. Jake Hudson buys subs from the Philippines through Kenny Bolin. Here it is from his own lips.
Dude, so Bobby's bringing up the fact that I had that. So did you hear what Bobby was saying? Jib.
I don't think anybody's heard what Bobby's been saying. He's out of his mind.
He was like, oh, you have three, but you bought your subscribers.
No, you didn't.
You realize he's the one who bought his subscribers. He told us he bought subscribers to get over 500.
Wait, what?
So, yeah, everybody knew that.
So I wasn't but the thing is, so remember the Filipino people? You give them, so if you give them money, they will give you subscribers.
Okay, I don't know anything about that.
Sorry, I just told my secret out there.
Oh, I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not familiar with any of that. I don't hang out with any Filipinos that I know of.
He was like, oh, you have three, but you bought your subscribers. So I wasn't. So remember the Filipino people? You give them, so if you give them money, they will give you subscribers.
Okay, I don't know anything about that.
Sorry, I just told my secret out there.
There it is. That was right after Jake denied it. Jib brings up Bobby Nick buying subscribers way back in the day to get over 500. Now, I don't know if that's true. I haven't asked Bobby. I wasn't around Bobby at the time. Jib said everyone knew it because Bobby told them all. So if that's true, then, I'm not really into buying subs, but it is a little different if it's true because sounds like Bobby admitted it, where Jake is denying it, confesses but keeps denying it, and keeps doing it. I mean, as long as I've known Bobby, he's been around the same number of subs, so he's clearly not buying them anymore. Maybe he bought them to get over 500 just to be monetized. I don't know if that's true. It's allegedly, but that's besides the point. Jake hears that, and he's like, "What?" And then he goes, "You mean I'm not the only one?" And stops himself. And then confesses. Ask Jib if you remember the Filipinos, you give them money and they give you subscribers. And then he's like, Jake goes, "I just told everyone my secret." So there's the confession. So whenever you hear Jake deny that he buys subscribers, whenever you hear him say they're good, you 100% know he's lying. There are multiple people who told me before this confession, they told me about Jake buying subscribers from the Philippines through Kenny Bolin. And that was after I witnessed Jake getting 200 subscribers at once. And then Jake confesses to seal the deal. There's no question. Jake Hudson buys subscribers. That's it. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. I do a political show at least a couple Sundays every month. It used to be every Sunday, but we've been having trouble doing it every Sunday, but we're gonna try and get it back. If you're into politics or dabble versus politics or whatever, check it out. And besides that, you can find me Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Echo Pineapple's channel on a show called Between Two Hacks. But we'll see if I try and grow this one. If you like Jake Hudson videos, I got a bunch I made, and there are more coming. As I said, this is just part one of Behind the HWO, or Behind here's the thing. And as always, I allow Jake Hudson to get the final word of every video. Jake, the floor is yours.
Come on. No. Yeah. Come on. Someone. Damn. Speak. Come on. Speak. GP's here. Hey. Come on. I'm right here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you. Hold on.
Hey.
Then they found out that not even 30 days prior, Mr. Flippo had taken out a $100,000 life insurance.
Come on, speak. GP's here. Hey. Come on.